YouTube, Bronny James is never going to step foot on a college basketball court because of this. Stay tuned to find out why. Now, first and foremost, if you guys don't know by now, the NCAA is getting ripped apart in recent news. Man, there has been a number of different people coming after the NCAA and really wanting a change. Now, whether that be between the difference in men and women's facilities, as well as players being able to get paid, man, the NCAA, in my opinion, is going to die in the very next couple of years for really good athletes. I don't think the best and really top talent is going to be going there anymore, and specifically Bronny James will not be going to college. Now let's get into it to find out why. Now, if you guys don't know right now, a lot of people have been wondering, where is Bronny James going to end up going? Now, of course, he's only a 16-year-old as of right now, and this year he is currently injured, so he's not able to play, show off his skill, show off his talent, show off what he's really improved on. But this goes for a number of other top recruits, not only Bronny James, but other people like Mikey Williams and really top high school talent as well. Now, the question always is, are they going to end up going to college basketball, or maybe try to go to the NBA G League or overseas? Now, as these younger players get older, the amount of options and really the places that they can go and routes that they can take to get to the NBA is completely different than in the past. Before, a lot of people really relied on college basketball, and that honestly being the best opportunity and usually the best route for the majority of athletes to go through to get to the NBA. But things are changing. Now, first and foremost, if you guys haven't seen this trending Instagram picture, it actually was put up where they were showing the difference between the men's and the women's facilities, and this was insane. Now, of course, Title IX, which was put in place to make sure that everything is equal between men and women, was put in place, so this is not allowed, and they had actually put a statement apologizing about this. But the main topic for this video is, should players really be able to get paid? Now, first and foremost, think about being in Bronny James' footsteps, and you're a top high school athlete, and you're going to decide, should I go to college or maybe try an alternative route? If you see all these players getting finessed and a lot of people being one and dones anyway when they go to college, man, why go in the first place? A lot of these players nowadays, if you're only trying to go just for sports and not really worried about your education, or you will want to get that in some time later, man, the G League really is no pointer at this point. When you see people like Mikey Williams or Bronny James talk about colleges that they're interested in, I honestly think this is just because societal pressure that's really put on them. Think about it. Everyone expects you to go to college, and if you do go a different route, it's actually seen as not the norm, which in this case, I think it's going to happen more and more often for these younger players. Man, Bronny James, of course, is going to be a junior coming up, and this is going to be a huge year for him, where he's going to have to show the talent that he's improved on, and if he can go straight from high school to the NBA. A lot of these guys we know by now cannot do that. There are very few people that can really go from high school to the NBA nowadays, just with the size and really them being mature as well and being able to play at such a high level. It's tough for high school athletes to do that. But Bronny James, of course, we do not know as of right now if he is going to be that star player that everyone knows, and I think a lot of people see his talent and potential that he has there. Bronny, of course, his genetics are a huge factor that can play into this, but on the other hand, the motivation and how hard he wants to put in work and why he wants to go there are a huge factor as well. Now, does he have potential to be a player that can go straight from high school to the NBA? Of course he does. Is it going to happen? It's probably unlikely, and for the majority of high school athletes is really unlikely. Now, in addition to just facilities, man, players not being able to get paid, there's a huge movement going on right now where players are actually wearing shirts that actually say not NCAA property, which in this case, if you guys don't know, pretty much the NCAA is making money off of a lot of these players, and these players are just getting scholarships, but besides that, they can't even make money off of their own name, which is ridiculous. If you think about all the work that these athletes put in, man, think about how many shots Bronny James has got up and how much work and how many hours he's put into his game, and he's not even a senior yet, and he is still ranked one of the top players in the country. Or think about someone like Mikey Williams, how many times you see videos of him in the gym putting in work, and they can't make money off of their own name, yet they're the ones who really put in that work and put in that time to improve in their game. It really makes me question where the motives of the NCAA, and do they really look out for the best interest of their players or not? Now, I think a lot of younger players like Bronny James or Mikey Williams are going to look at this and say, why am I going to take that route? It doesn't really make too much sense. Why would I go the college route if I can go another route and get to my goal at the end of the day, which the majority of these guys are going to be the NBA. They want to get paid. Now, of course, you can look at education on one hand and say, okay, college is an excellent route because they can get educated and play the game that they love. But that is not the only route. And at the end of the day, if you are going to use a degree and there's something that you're really going to want to go into, maybe that's a good route for you to go to college. But the majority of these top high school athletes, man, they just want to try to get to the NBA, help their families out, and get that paycheck. And college is looking less like the move as time goes on. Now, this is only for the top talent. A lot of guys cannot go straight from high school to another league just because they're not good enough. You really have to be top 10, top 15, top 20. You have to be one of the best players in the country to be able to make moves like this. So we are not speaking for everyone, but personally, I don't see Bronny James going to college if he is good enough to take this route. If he's not, okay, maybe he will end up going to a college. But it's really interesting to see how pretty much a lot of the NCAA players nowadays are almost rioting what the NCAA is doing, and they want to get and be able to make money off of their name. Even if the NCAA does not pay them directly, man, it really makes me question, why is this rule really in place? Now, think about it as well. The coaches are making millions and millions of dollars. The Kentucky coach, of course, who's been there for a while, John Calipari, who's coaching people like Terrence Clark, Brandon Boston, is making around $8 million per year, while Brandon Boston is just getting a scholarship and his education. Man, does that honestly seem even to a lot of people? I really don't think so. And that's why it shows. If you have people like Zion Williamson coming to Duke, and you have household names, you have presidents going and watching Zion's games, how much attention and how much money do you think he was really generating for the NCAA as well as the Duke program? It's really ridiculous. And if you think about it, it seems like these players are almost being exploited for what they can do. They are the entertainers at this point. They're putting in a ton of work, late nights, early mornings into their game, and they're not getting anything for it. Something just does not seem right about that. Now, new leagues and new options are always popping up for high school athletes, but of course, like I continue to keep saying, the G League I think is going to be an excellent route for somebody like Bronny James or Mikey Williams to take the route and go the road less traveled. This is a route where players can obviously develop right where they want to be in the NBA G League, which the majority of draft picks nowadays even end up going to the NBA G League. So it's really a great option for them to polish their game and work with the competition that they'll be playing with in the future. Now, of course, you do have a number of other leagues. You have Overtime's league as well, which that is setting up, so we do not know what's going to happen. They're reaching out to a number of the top talent in high school basketball to see if they would be interested, but who knows at this point? We really do not have too much information onto what that league will look like. And lastly, you could have overseas as well. Overseas is another great option. You develop against professional competition, could show what you're made of, and I think Bronny James really is talented enough to do something like that as well. I think the options are really unlimited for his age and for his talent. At the end of the day, if he does grow into the player that is really good, man, he can go any of these routes and he will be straight. Now, what do you guys think in the comments down below? Should these athletes really be paid or not? Let me know in the comments down below, as well as where do you think Bronny James is going? Will he actually go to college or end up going an alternative route? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications, get a notification every time I upload a new video. So I'll let you know.